G'day everyone, Scott here from One Green Thumb Gardening in Toowoomba. Today is Saturday the 18th of September. Today I just wanted to talk about the misconception of mulch and how a lot of people believe that by mulching it'll completely get rid of your weeds. Mulch does suppress your weeds, but it won't get rid of them in every situation. So I'm just going to show you a couple of gardens. We've got tea tree mulch, forest mulch, and then I'll show you rock. Which I did put down the good weed mat, the expensive stuff. So this proved to me that weed mat doesn't work and I no longer use it. So in this garden, which runs underneath a date palm, but so we tea tree mulch this one, but you can still see the amount of cobbler's pegs and palm seeds that come through. Like, it does do a pretty good job of keeping most of the stuff out, but what happens is weed seeds, once one starts, and then they'll blow the seed straight up on top, and then all it needs is the right moisture. Like you can sort of see, these are not that far into the ground, like before the roots start, like they're right on top. So the weed seeds have blown across, they've landed on top, and then of course they've had the right moisture, they sprout, and then they'll root down, and then of course you've got that constant problem of weeds multiplying on top of your mulch. Then same over here, we've got forest mulch that we've put down, and then once again the forest mulch was doing a really good job, and then unfortunately it's just how nature takes over vacant spaces. Weeds blow, come in from birds, all sorts of things, and then they land on top. And then after a season or two, you've just got more weeds. So today I've sprayed this with Stomp Xtra, which is a pre-emergent breakdown, which has a natural acid for breaking down your weed seeds. And then I'm also trying metsulfuron, which is also meant to be a pre-emergent herbicide. So we'll see how we go. So I've sprayed all this, but you can sort of see even with the Burmatic, like all these weed seeds are just going to be sitting on top, and then even though there's no soil for what are we, maybe 5 centimeters down there, but you can sort of see there's still moisture. This mulch is doing a fantastic job of keeping the soil moist and cool. And then yeah, you got your vetch there, which is a legume. And then I just wanted to show you in the rock. So even with rock and crusher dust, weeds come across the top, and then they just sit on top, work their way down the rock, and then get amongst the soil, start sprouting. What else? So in a situation where you've got your mulch like this, where all your weed seeds and all that sort of stuff have happened, the best thing to do is to come through, and you're gonna have to physically remove your weeds so that those seeds are not left on the ground and put back into the ground. Is the best way. If you put mulch straight on top of that, all you're doing is creating a super thick layer of mulch, and then the moisture doesn't get down to the ground and into the plants. Or what you can do is, so in my case, what I've done, being such a large property, is just use pre-emergent herbicides to see how we go. But it does need, as soon as you see weed seeds come up, they need to be sprayed within the first 2 weeks to stop them going to seed like that. Otherwise you're in a bit of a pickle. You can rototill it all in, re-mulch it, so then that way it puts the mulch back into the ground, puts your seed bank lower into the ground, which then a lot of weed seeds only need 5 to 10 mil to germinate. So if you're burying the weed seeds, then it'll be a lot less that germinate. So I'm going to show you the rocks that I put in. We ripped out a garden and then we put in the weed mat. But again, you can sort of see that the weeds, so like even just all your lawn clippings and stuff over time just slowly come in. Of course they break down and become dirt. And there's a fairly deep base. Now there's my weed mat there. So you've got the sandstone that's broken down and created sort of like this soil, and then of course you've got grass and material that breaks down as well. That does not stop the weeds from coming through, and of course we've seen some beautiful weeds just hammering straight through this stuff. So unless you're using concrete as black plastic, which is not the best for the soil underneath, it doesn't breathe, it doesn't get the moisture, suffocates it. I don't use weed mat for that reason. So in this case I've just gone through here and sprayed all this with my glufosinate, and it's my pre-emergence, and see how we go. Yeah, so if there's any information you need or would like any help with weeds and so forth in your lawns or in your gardens, shoot me a message. It'd be great if you could share or like. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching One Green Thumb Gardening. See ya.